date is January 11, 2014 on a Saturday. It's 2:22 a.m. Pacific Time. And up next, Half Moon Bay Beach radiation, not from Fukushima, officials say. Science disproves claims that there is radiation from Fukushima hitting the beach in any detectable levels. This was posted by Krista Begay, editor, January 9, 2014 at 11:06 a.m. Pacific Time. And this is a video you can play. It's entitled Fukushima Radiation Hits San Francisco. And some of you may have already seen that video. This report does not necessarily reflect my own opinion. It's just for information. The radiation reading on a recent YouTube video showing high levels of radiation on Surfers Beach in El Granada using a Geiger counter are naturally occurring radioactive materials, NORM, not attributable to Fukushima, according to a report from the California Department of Public Health. Recent tests show that elevated levels of radiation at Half Moon Bay are due to naturally occurring materials and not radioactivity associated with the Fukushima incident, said spokeswoman Wendy Hopkins of the California Department of Public Health. There is no public health risk at California beaches due to radioactivity related to events at Fukushima. San Mateo County health officials also say that after testing the sand on December 27th, that higher levels of radiation on Half Moon Bay and Pacifica beaches appear to be from naturally occurring minerals, typically found in coastal geology, said Dean Peterson, Director for Environmental Health Services for San Mateo County. The radionuclides are in the NORM class of radioactive substances and not from Fukushima, concurs Dan Seith, CEO for International Medcom, which designs and manufactures Geiger counters, a device used to detect radiation hazards in the home, workplace, and environment. Since Inspector device is featured in the video, which led some to believe that radioactive material from the Fukushima Daiichi reactor meltdown in Japan was now hitting the West Coast. Seith also specializes in radiation detection and public safety. He was so concerned about the video that he asked his friend Steve Weiss, an electrical engineer from the coast side, to mail some Half Moon Bay sand to his Sebastopol home to personally test a sample of sand from the beach, and I am convinced there is no link to Fukushima, he said. He found that the radioactive areas of the beach seem to be associated with dark sand below the high tide level. The levels detected are about 5 to 10 times what you would normally expect to find on a beach, he said. But if the sand were contaminated by radiation from Fukushima, it would show cesium-137, a product of nuclear fission, which is reported to be the major health concern in Fukushima. In March 2011, when a tsunami damaged the Fukushima Daiichi power plant in Japan, radioactive isotopes were also released into the air and were absorbed by the ocean when they were rained down upon it, according to a report on Deep Sea News, a publication highly regarded for directly communicating science to the public. These two pathways introduce mostly iodine-131, cesium-137, and cesium-134, but also tellurium, uranium, and strontium to the areas surrounding the power plant. What Seith found on Surfers Beach was not this. He got radium and thorium, which are naturally occurring radioactive elements, he said. The radiation level is elevated but roughly equivalent to some granite countertop material from Brazil. He documented his findings in a blog post on the Geiger Counter Bulletin right here at this link. And you can click on that, folks, if you wish. Whether this material is naturally occurring at this beach or not remains a question, said Seith. There are reports that a pipeline was once at this location, and oil pipelines can collect heavy radioactive minerals. He believes the beach is safe, but would err on the side of caution with young children and babies to make sure they don't inhale or eat the sand, said Seith, who describes himself as conservative when it comes to dealing with controversial issues regarding radiation health and safety, and prefers a more precautionary approach, he said. The volume of water in the Pacific Ocean has a significant diluting effect on radionuclides that are present, and it is not anticipated that the concentration will increase in the waters off the West Coast, according to California Department of Public Health officials. Still, Scythe hopes the state will do further testing to determine the origin and full nature of the hotspots on the beach, but we are confident that it is not related to Fukushima based on the spectral signature, he said. Since the video was published on YouTube on December 24, 2013, the state and county have sent teams to the beach for a survey. According to the Cal Office of Emergency Services, the California Department of Public Health Radiologic Health Branch did testing last week, as did the San Mateo County Health Environmental Office. On December 27th, a county inspector with a Geiger counter using GPS coordinates in El Granada, as provided by the California Office of Emergency Services, reported that at the high tide mark at Surfers Beach, their meter indicated a level of 100 microrems, which is 3 to 4 times higher than background for the area, said Peterson. This level is not a public health concern, he said, with respect to levels of radiation. It is safe to visit any of our coastal beaches. Okay, and if you'd like to read more, folks, I'm going to have to stop right there. I put a link at the bottom of the video. And again, this does not reflect my personal opinion. It's just for information, and it's up to the viewer to decide. And this is by Krista Begay, who is an editor, and she gets all the credit for the content. All right, and the YouTube video, I will post a link to that YouTube video for all of you, and that video will be credited to the YouTuber. Thanks for watching. Pink out.